I've pulled up a past image of M13 that I've taken, and I'm going to use that when I discuss the Stats tab on the left-hand side of the screen over here. Underneath the Stats tab, you have a histogram, and the green area of the histogram here is a representation of the levels of brightness within my M13 photo. You'll also see that below the histogram I have two sliders, a black one and a white one. The leftmost, or the top slider, the black one, is used to set the black point within this exposure, or the background. The right one is used to set the white point, or the target data, the stars. Underneath that you'll find two scroller boxes, and those represent the histogram sliders, and you'll find an auto contrast box under that. After you're done taking your exposures for M13, and I'm going to recommend that for a first-time user who has gotten this far within the process and you're ready to start stacking those 5 to 8 second M13 exposures, the question always comes up, well, how many should I stack to get a good photo of M13? Well, I think if you read the PDF file that came on the AutoStar Suite CD, you'll find somewhere within the DSI's documentation that there's a recommendation of, I believe it's 50 exposures to get a good quality photo. I'm going to recommend that you double that amount. You're using 5 to 8 second exposures to take a picture of a globular cluster. It doesn't take that much time to finish one of these up, especially if you're using the color camera. And the doubling of the exposures from 50 to 100 will effectively double the signal to noise level ratio within the final photo, and will produce a better, smoother photo for you. So when you start stacking your M13 exposures, stack 100 of them before you click start or stop. Now that we've completed our M13 capture process and we have our stacked photo on the screen here, I can come over and uncheck auto contrast, and I can do some manipulating of the histogram sliders to brighten up the target and lower the background brightness if need be. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the white point histogram slider to the left. And as I do this, you'll see that the histogram data starts to turn white wherever my slider point is located. And you'll also see within the photo that the target data starts to brighten up. So I'm going to go back and show you that again. You'll see that it starts brightening, brightening, brightening. I'm going to over brighten it just a little bit so that I can better demonstrate the black point slider. If I then come over and move the black point slider to the right, you'll see that the background starts to darken. Now I'm going to move it back. You'll notice that especially when you're moving the black histogram slider, the green data within the histogram will start to turn black. This is called clipping, and if you were to save the photo with your histogram set like this so that you've clipped off this end of the data, that data that you've clipped will be lost forever. So you don't want to, with your black point slider especially, you don't want to come into the data, you want to get right up next to it, and that's about as far as I can go with this particular photo. I'm also going to lower this back down so that the center portion of the M13 is not so blown out. You can see how if you move it too much, you lose all your resolution and detail in the center of the cluster. It becomes white hot, and it's known as burnt out or blown out.